Prolapse, a common yet often misunderstood condition that affects millions of women worldwide. In this video, we're going to dive into the world of pelvic health. We're going to explore what pelvic organ prolapse really is, its causes, symptoms, and treatment options. Whether you're experiencing symptoms or just want to learn more, this video aims to educate and empower you with knowledge about prolapse. It helps you take control of your pelvic health, from understanding the different types of prolapse to learn about the latest treatment options. We've got you covered. Watch now and join the conversation about pelvic health, helping to break the stigma surrounding this important women's health issue. Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Peter Aziz. I'm a urogynecologist and pelvic surgeon. Today, we're going to talk about something that millions of women experience, but very few feel comfortable discussing. What is that? It's prolapse. So if you've ever felt that bulge, pressure, or heaviness sensation in the pelvis, you've noticed something that just doesn't feel right down there, or if you're worried that something is literally falling out of your body, this video is for you. Pelvic organ prolapse is far more common than most people realize. In fact, nearly half of all women who've had children, they will experience some degree of prolapse in their lifetime. All right, so let's talk about what really is prolapse, the basics, all right? Pelvic organs, they include your bladder, uterus, vagina, rectum. These organs, they're held in place by a group of muscles and ligaments. It's called your pelvic floor. So think about your pelvic floor as the foundation of a house. If the foundation is strong, everything above it is going to stay where it's supposed to be. However, with prolapse, the support system gets weak and it fails. So one or more of the organs, they start descending and they start bulging or protruding through the vagina. So there are several different types of prolapse depending on which organ is affected. All right, the first thing is a cystocele or an anterior prolapse. That happens when the bladder drops in the vagina. Most common type I see in my practice. Or a rectocele or a posterior prolapse, that's when the rectum bulges forward into the back wall of the vagina. You can also have a uterus prolapse, which is basically descends into the vagina, and sometimes the cervix can even protrude outside of the body. Also, you can have a vaginal vault prolapse that can happen after a hysterectomy, where the top wall of the vagina, it starts dropping down. So, prolapse exists on a wide spectrum. You can have it from stage 0, which is no prolapse at all, to stage 4, which is a complete prolapse and it's protruding outside of the body. Most women, they actually have mild prolapse and they don't even know because they don't have any symptoms. Others, they have moderate to severe prolapse that can significantly affect their qualities of life. So here's what I want you to understand. Having prolapse, it is not dangerous at all, okay? It's a medical condition with real anatomical causes. It's very common, but there's no danger to your health in any way, okay? But why does it happen? So there is a lot of reasons that can cause prolapse to happen and to make your pelvic support weakened. Number 1, childbirth and pregnancy. That is the number 1 risk factor for prolapse. Vaginal delivery. When you're pregnant, the weight of the baby growing puts a lot of pressure on the pelvic floor for months and months, especially when you're having a vaginal delivery or you have a large baby, or they had to use a forceps or a vacuum that can stretch and tear all of the muscles in the pelvis. I've had patients that they tell me that they felt something shift during delivery, and years later, they're dealing with prolapse. One of my patients, she had 3 children in 4 years, came to me feeling literally something was falling out. She said something changed after her second baby, but after her third, she could barely stand at the end of the day without feeling the pressure and heaviness. So here's something important. Not every woman who gives birth will develop prolapse. Also, cesarean section doesn't completely prevent it because the pregnancy itself can affect your pelvic floor. Second thing that can lead to prolapse, aging and menopause. Aging is another risk factor. Why? As we get older, things get weaker. The muscles, the ligaments, they get weaker so they don't support as well. Menopause accelerates this process because estrogen drops, so the tissues in and around the vagina, they become thinner and drier and weaker. These hormonal changes can unmask prolapse that has been developing for years, okay? Third thing, chronic straining. Anything that chronically increases the pressure inside of your belly can contribute to the prolapse. Let's say you're constipated and you have to strain really hard to have a bowel movement, and that occurs every single day. That constantly weakens your pelvic support over time. Or, for example, you have a chronic cough from smoking or asthma. All of this coughing can put pressure on your pelvic floor. Heavy lifting, high impact activities. So if you have a job with constant heavy lifting, repetitive, whether at work or at the gym, sometimes that can damage pelvic floor. I've treated literally weightlifters, CrossFit athletes, runners, women who are in physically demanding jobs that they develop prolapse based on the constant heavy loads and the high impact activities. Another thing that is really important is obesity. Excess weight can put constant pressure on your pelvic floor. That pressure is constantly going downwards on your organs that are already struggling to stay in place. Another issue is previous pelvic surgeries, especially a hysterectomy. Just doing a hysterectomy doesn't protect you from prolapse. Generally speaking, when you've had a hysterectomy, the doctor has to suspend the vagina up and attach it to a strong ligament inside of the pelvis to prevent the prolapse from coming after the surgery. So, what does prolapse feels like? Let me tell you what it actually feels like, because this is what brings women to my office all the time. Number one, bulge. That's the most common symptom or a feeling that the patient would say, I feel that there's something inside of the vagina, or they're sitting on a ball. Something is falling out. Some patients, they come to me telling me they feel like they're growing a tumor, or they're so scared they might have cancer because they can feel a mass inside of the vagina. One patient came to me in tears. She literally thought she was dying, and she can feel something in her vagina when she was wiping after using the bathroom. She was terrified. When I examined her, she had a stage 3 prolapse, and her vagina has significantly descended. But, I comfort her, it was completely treatable. She's doing wonderful now. The second thing that you can feel is heaviness in the vagina and pelvic pressure. That constant feeling of heaviness, like literally something is pulling down by gravity. That usually gets worse if you're standing for long periods of time, or if you're walking a lot. Gets worse in the evening because all of the gravity is pulling down on all of your pelvic organs. Other things like low back pain, like urinary symptoms. Sometimes you might have difficulty urinating, or you feel like you don't empty your bladder well. Sometimes you have actually incontinence where you start leaking urine, frequency of urination, especially women who have an anterior prolapse where the bladder is bulging. Some of them, they literally have to push the prolapse in with their fingers to help them urinate. That usually happens with advanced prolapse like a stage 3 or a stage 4. Other symptoms like bowel symptoms, it might cause some difficulty to have a bowel movement. Also, some women, they have to put their fingers inside, push the prolapse back up to be able to have a bowel movement, and help with evacuation as well. Another thing that is not discussed very often is sexual difficulties, and I have seen this a lot in my office. Patients who come in with prolapse, they say that having penetrative intercourse is uncomfortable, sometimes painful, sometimes awkward. Some patients, they avoid it completely because they're self-conscious, or they lose sensations because of the change in their anatomy. This is an area where women, they struggle a lot, and they suffer in silence. They don't want to talk about it. Some of them, they're embarrassed. They don't even tell their doctors about it, and it significantly impacts their relationship and their quality of life. So when should you see a doctor? Here's my straightforward advice. If you're experiencing any of the things that I just described, see a provider, okay? See a specialist. You don't have to wait until it's really severe, and like don't wait and suffer in silence because you think this is part of being a woman or getting older. It is not. It's a legit medical problem and there are treatments. So just go see a provider, at least get an evaluation, see what part is actually prolapsing and how severe the condition is. I've had so many patients that they come to me and they're telling me they've been suffering for years because they thought that, oh, nothing can be done, or they were too embarrassed to bring it up to their doctor. I had a woman literally waited 15 years before seeking help. 15 years avoided activities she loved, exercising, having intimacy. And when it got fixed, she was like, why did I wait so long? I feel so much better. My life is a lot better now. Because early intervention matters. Because here's the reality, prolapse is often progressive. It either stays the same or it gets worse over time. So if you take care of the prolapse early, it can prevent the progression and may give you more treatment options. Even if you're not ready to get a treatment, just get a diagnosis, get an understanding of what's happening with your body, and that gives you power, gives you knowledge, and allows you to make an informed decision about managing your symptoms and preventing progression. So who should you see? Ideally, you want to see a specialist, like a urogynecologist, all right? Someone who is trained GYN and urology, who can address bladder issues, can address uterine prolapse, vaginal prolapse. Someone who's comfortable diagnosing and treating pelvic organ prolapse, incontinence, can offer you conservative options and can offer you surgical options as well. Your general gynecologist can certainly evaluate you, can manage mild cases as well. But for moderate to severe prolapse or complex situations, a urogynecologist is the specialist of choice. So what are some misconceptions about prolapse? All right, myth number one, prolapse only happens in older women. That is false. I've had so many patients come to my office in their 30s, 40s with significant prolapse. I literally even treated patients in their 20s for prolapse. Some of them, they have very, very complex deliveries and they develop prolapse afterwards. Age is a risk factor, but it's not an only factor. Young women can have prolapse as well. So myth number two, if you haven't had children, you cannot get prolapse. Not true. Yes, childbirth is a risk factor, but it's not the only one. You can still get prolapse even if you did not have children before. Myth number three, prolapse equals surgery. That is false, and this is a very damaging misconception. Not everyone needs surgery. A lot of women can actually treat prolapse with conservative management. There are things like pessaries, there are things like pelvic floor physical therapy. We can just watch and see if it's like a stage 1, but you don't need to have surgery. If it's advanced and it's significantly affecting your quality of life, then yes, we can justify surgery, and there is a lot of different surgical options that we provide for patients, but you don't have to get it. Myth number 4. Kegels will fix prolapse. That is a big misconception as well. Pelvic floor exercises, including Kegels, don't get me wrong, they're valuable. They should be part of your management plan. They can help with mild prolapse and prevent the progression. However, once you hit the advanced stages, Kegels will not work. They will not reverse the anatomical damage that happens. All right, myth number 5. Prolapse surgery always fails. I hear this fear all the time. Women tell me they heard horror stories about prolapse surgery failing or making things worse. Here's the truth. Modern prolapse surgeries, when performed by experienced pelvic surgeons using evidence-based technique, they have excellent success rate and very low recurrence. Of course, nothing is 100% in medicine. There is always risk of recurrence. And every once in a blue moon, we would see women that they need revision surgeries. But majority of my patients, they do very well. And you need to find a specialist who do the surgeries all the time and they're comfortable offering you all of the different routes of surgery and finding one that is suitable for you. If you find this video helpful, please subscribe, hit the like button, hit the notification bell so you don't miss future videos. I'll be covering treatment options for prolapse, urinary incontinence, pelvic pain, other options related to pelvic health. Leave a comment below if you have any questions or topics that you would like me to address. I read every comment and your question often inspire future videos. Remember, your pelvic health matters, you matter, don't suffer in silence. I'm Dr. Peter Aziz and I'll see you in the next video.